Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending where in the world you are. If you, as well as I do, have a passion to understand underperformance, if you're either suffering underperformance yourself or you have someone in your team that you would like to help, I believe that you are in the right place. And today, what we're going to talk about is turning around underperformance, but not just in any way. What I promise to give you today is to do it with little budget and little time. So if you're working in a company that is suffering with just cost limitations or budget cut downs, or you are in a situation where you feel that you have so much to do, depending on what kind of industry you're in, you might be experiencing the last few weeks, few months of the year as quite stressful and overwhelming with lots to do. However, underperformance is something that if you don't act upon it, it will not only continue, but it will increase. That's why it's so important to act upon underperformance as soon as you see it. And in our previous LinkedIn events, we have talked about, so I can warmly suggest you to check my LinkedIn profile and just browse through it. What we talked about previously is that there are different things you could be doing. Once again, they don't need to cost money, they don't need to take much time, that you can do in order to prevent underperformance from occurring. Every company, every manager, every CEO, every HR professional face with the phantom, let's give it the name of the phantom, of underperformance. And it's something that no one wants to have in their companies, in their teams. So having that said, maybe you're wondering, okay, what is this magic way of turning around underperformance with little budget and with little time? Is there like a secret recipe to do it? What kind of, what is it? What is that so special, Lizzie, that you're going to share with us? What's the magic in it? We've been having underperformance for years, on and off, from different employees or in different works, in different positions. So what is it you're going to come with that we've never heard before? I'm not promising to tell you something you've never heard before. However, you might have forgotten this, or you're so busy and so many things happening around that maybe you don't realize that the easiest that's in front of your eyes, you're just missing it. So let me share the screen with you and show you what it is I am going to refer to. The first thing you can do, and this once again doesn't cost money, doesn't cost time, a little bit of time. Of course, you always have to invest a little of time, but I promise you, it's small things. And this is something I hear from all my clients. Lizzie, this was so easy to do and such a little thing. I believe I can do it. And then they come back to me and tell me, it was amazing. It made such a big difference. How can something so little make such a big difference? So as you see, in the core, we have the mindset. That's what we're going to talk about today, mindset. And I'm going to get back to this picture later, but not just yet. Now we're going to move forward in terms of, okay, how can we work with this mindset and what effect can it cause in order to turn around underperformance? Let us use what we know about neuroscience in terms of how our amazing brains work, and how can we use that brain? How can we use the knowledge we have of how the brain works in order to change our mindsets and then suddenly change our underperformance into performance and reaching those peaks of performance, reaching those where we feel that we're giving our potential, that others are giving the potential. So much more fun to work in such an environment, isn't it? So what we know about our brains is that cells that fire, they wire, and they create these neurological connections. And the more they are activated, the bigger, the stronger this connection gets. So to give you a comparison, it's like the difference between, the first time two neurons were connected, they fired and they connected. It's like having like walking in a field with very high grass, and you start walking, you're making your pathway. And the more you walk on that pathway, the more you see, okay, the grass is stepped on here. So you can almost see the pathway now. And you keep walking, it keeps getting brighter. And then suddenly someone decides to make a highway there because they realize this is a great connection to go from A to B. So suddenly that started like nothing, now it's a highway and you have these cars going at high speed. That's what happens in our brains as well. So when someone, understanding this is so important, because when someone, if that's you or is someone in your team, when someone is underperforming, a lot of things are happening at an emotional, neurological, and of course in a physical way, right? So understanding what underperformance is causing and how to revert it, and how to do it just by changing and working with your mindset. So if these neuropaths are created, for some reason, something happens that triggers these cells to fire and wire, right? Something has triggered them. And we're going to talk about triggers in another opportunity. Now let's just assume that something has triggered that and this connection is being done. And what's happening is that this highway in the brain created for that person is a highway where negative things are being reinforced. For instance, let's say that the trigger was something happened at a personal level. They might have, been diagnosed with something. Doesn't need to be a very terrible, horrible diagnosis, but it could be something, it could be like a back pain. And when I'm using back pain because I myself had a back pain issue or have a back pain issue. So they get diagnosed that there's something with your disc, the lower back. And even though it's not a big thing, it's taking energy. So say that something triggered at a personal level, one of your employees or even yourself. And then you're worrying about that, right? So you're suddenly, this worry is creating also some fear, because what's wrong with my back and what can be done and what am I feeling this pain? And this creates like a negative circle. I get afraid, I get pain. Because I feel the pain, I get even more afraid, and this starts increasing. So the energy that you can put in your work, even though at a conscious level you really want to do a great job, it's not the same. And suddenly your performance is going down. So what happens? I'm not saying that's you, maybe it's not, but many times when we see underperformance, what's happening is that person starts talking like a little bit negative to themselves. I have this pain, or I have this personal problem, that family problem, or whatever it is, and I cannot really focus on my job. So you see, now they're having like a negative self-talk. Okay, I cannot focus on my job. I cannot do a good job. And then suddenly when things happen at work, because the brain is now listening to what's happening to the inner dialogue, the brain is listening and reinforcing whatever is happening up there, is reinforcing it. So the brain will find everything. If you're creating a belief that I'm not at the level that I should be, and I don't like where I am, because then, I have the back in my pain, so I really can't focus, and I don't like at the level I am at. So the brain is starting to understand all of this. It's creating also some emotions, sending different neurotransmitters to the body, different chemicals. So what the brain is going to do, it's going to find everything around you that's in line with this new belief. I'm not at the top of my performance. It will find, and this will be reinforced. What happens at a neurological level? If you don't take action upon this, if you don't get help, and the help you can get it from your managers, if you have a good manager, a good coach, and can be coached, or if you find someone outside the company, or if you can do it yourself. If you don't have the right help, if you're not doing anything about this is going to be reinforced and reinforced and reinforced and reinforced and reinforced. So in the end, you're going to be like neurologically in this aspect, not in every aspect of your life, but in this aspect, it's like you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck, and you're going to not really as the further this goes, the less you're going to understand, why am I stuck here? I don't like this. This is not even me. And it's going to start affecting different aspects of your life, of course. And from a company point of view, this is going to start affecting different people around this employee. So it's going to affect the people in their teams, other people in other teams that they work with, maybe clients, maybe suppliers, So this creates like a ripple effect. So what is it you can do? Because I promised you today to turn around this. Now we understand the situation from a neurological point of view, neuroscience point of view. How can we change this around? As I showed you before, is by working with the mindset. Please take note, because this is what I teach my clients, and they tell me it helps them a lot. And this doesn't cost you anything right now. So number one, I would like you to focus on your posture. The way, motion, how we move, motion creates emotion. So if I'm standing like this, if I'm standing like this, let me show you on the side. If I'm standing like this, that's creating some kind of energy, right? If I'm standing like this and lower my ribs, back with my shoulders, looking up high, even smiling, because when you look up, for some reason, you cannot be sad. That creates other kinds of emotions. And this is perceived by our amazing brain. So number one, the one thing I want you to do, not costing any money, not costing any time, please think on your posture. How are you moving around? What are you saying with your body? And this is not about putting a show. It's not for other people to see. This is just for you. You might as well do it just when you're alone. Think of your posture and have a posture where you feel in a position of empowerment, of happiness. That's the number one. Number two that you can do to help change a mindset and start breaking that pattern in your mind. Number two is breathing. Whenever you feel that you're stressed, whenever you feel that it's too much, whenever you feel that you're not happy where you are with yourself, or in the case that you have an employee, and everything I'm telling, it's for you who feel stuck in your situation, and also for you who are leading a person that's stuck in the situation, so that you can help them. So number two is the breathing. So I would like you to try as many times a day as you can, but if you're not doing it now, at least do it twice a day. Start by twice. Can you do that? If you can write in the comments, please, if you can do that. Twice a day. Breathing. I want you to breathe in. You can do it through your nose, very, 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 very slowly. And if you can count how long it takes for you to breathe in. And then you hold for a few seconds, and then you breathe out. And here there are different theories. One says you can breathe out through your mouth, very slowly, very gentle, as if you were blowing through a straw. Other theories say, no, it's better to do it through the nose. Follow whatever theory you want, what feels well with you, but do it very slowly and count. And do that for 3 times, twice a day. You're going to see this is going to create relaxation in your whole body, and it's going to cool down your stress system in your brain, so that you're not having so much cortisol in your body, and you're having a little bit more of dopamine, oxytocin, that keeps you calm and motivated. Number 3 is for you to start being aware of the things that are coming out of your mouth, how you're talking about yourself and others. So every time you find yourself saying something negative, something disempowering, I want you to catch yourself in the second and rephrase it in an empowering way. So if you catch yourself saying, I'm so tired, this was a horrible day, now I just want to sit on the couch, I want you to rephrase that and say, okay, some things happened today that I'm not happy with, but what happened today that I'm happy with, and that it was a good thing, that it was a small win? And then you focus on that. And let me show the picture I started showing in the beginning, because you might ask, Lizzie, but is it enough just to do these 3 things and focus on the mindset? Is that going to change everything? No, unfortunately not. I'm going to be very honest. It's not going to change everything, but it's a start. And this is what doesn't cost money and time, much time. But the other things that you need to work with, they are your skills, your knowledge, and the environment. And this is something we work with at Brighter Leaders, because this is like a symbiosis. So when all of these things are working well together, that's where the magic happens. So if you're interested in knowing what can be done for you, or you're just interested in just discussing your situation with me, either because you feel stuck in your underperformance, or you have someone in your team or your organization stuck with underperformance, please reach out. I am passionate about this, and I love helping people. I would be more than happy to know exactly, where you are and how I can help you, even if it's just, without any expectations, without moving forward, and that one conversation. So I wish you a beautiful day. And by the way, write down on the comments if you would like to receive my latest ebook, 7 actionable strategies on how to turn around underperformance. And write it down, and you will get that ebook completely for free. Have a beautiful day and take care.